إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله هو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا وقرة أعيننا شفيع المذنبين وقائد الغر المحجلين وسيد ولد آدم ولا فخر محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذرياته ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته وتبع هداه إلى يوم الدين. تركنا المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. ثم أوصيكم ونفسي العاصية بتقوى الله كما أمر الله عز وجل في كتابه العزيز حيث يقول: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. ثم أما بعد. All praise is due to the Lord and Sustainer of the universe, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we beseech and implore Him to forgive us our mistakes and trespasses and transgressions, and to offer His most salient and beautiful blessings upon His last and final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon His kin, His companions, and all those who follow His guidance to the last day. He has left for us a clear, pristine path. Its day is as its night in its clarity, and all those who waver from it will find nothing but misery. We are in the blessed month of Rabi' al-Awwal, Rabi' al-Anwar, wal-Azhar, wal-Afdal, the month where the soundest reports indicate that the Prophet ﷺ was born during this particular month and on this particular day, the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. And why we should commemorate our Prophet ﷺ in every breath that we take, in every moment of our lives, by trying to live up to His sunnah, His way of life that He came to teach us and that He left as His legacy. It still behooves us to take these opportunities, these periodic opportunities in our calendar, to emphasize this particular legacy. And when we talk about the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we're usually familiar with what we would call sunan al-abdan, the sunan of physicalities, how the Prophet ﷺ prayed when he would say to his companions, "Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli," pray as you see me praying. "Khudhu manasikakum anni," take your manasik, take your rites of Hajj and Umrah from me. And these are very important, and they constitute part of the legacy of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But if we look to what is the crux of the matter, and that which he emphasized more than anything else, we would have to say it would be something like a sunan al-qalbiyya, the sunan of the state of the heart. This is truly what the Prophet ﷺ came to transform, came to effect change upon. And he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمِ الْأَخْلَاقِ أَوْ صَالِحِ الْأَخْلَاقِ فِي رِوَايَةٍ. And I have not been sent except so that I may complete beautiful character. And the Arabs say that the khuluq is the inward attributes. So akhlaq, even though they come out in how we deal with one another, their source comes from the inward character. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, أَلَا إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ. Verily, there is a morsel of flesh in the body. If it is rectified, the whole body will be rectified. And if it is corrupted, then the whole body would be corrupted, and that morsel of flesh is the heart. He did not mean the physical cardiac heart. He meant the spiritual heart, though there is a connection between the two. And he would often say, يا مقلب القلوب ثبتني على دينك أو على إيمانك. يا مقلب القلوب, the one who turns the heart, who makes taqlib. Because that's what the heart is, back and forth. It's moody, it's temperamental. It wants to do what it wants to do. It doesn't always listen to reason. It doesn't always listen to what is logical. It doesn't always want to do what it knows to be right. That is our heart, all of us individually and collectively. And so the Prophet ﷺ came with a way, a methodology, a way of life by which we can rectify that heart. So in other words, if we leave it to its own devices, if we do nothing with it, it will not be rectified. It will be corrupted. So what was this program, this methodology of the Prophet ﷺ? How about to rectify this heart? He emphasized intentions more than action, though he did not neglect action. But he said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. Actions are by their intention, and everyone will have what they intended. And he also said, نَيَّةُ الْمُؤْمِنِ خَيْرٌ مِنْ عَمَلِهِ, that the intention of the believer is even better than their action. That means two people can be doing the exact same thing, apparently, in appearance. They could be praying side by side, the exact same movements, reading the exact same surah, Fatiha, and a surah after that. Everything looks identical from the outside, but they're not identical. One of them can be from Ahl Jannah, or one of them can be min al-muqarrabeen, and the other can be min Ahl al-dalal, or al-munafiqeen, or hatta al-kafirin, or min al-abrar. Then al-muqarrabeen aqrab min al-abrar. One could be from amongst the close ones, or they could be from the righteous. But there is difference in degrees. How is that difference in degrees going to be determined? How does Allah determine that? By what's in one's heart. And that is something only Allah can know. So part of our akhlaq, part of our character with one another, is that we deal with each other only that which we see apparently, not which we can derive or think we can know from inside somebody's heart. And the Prophet ﷺ would rebuke people who tried to do that. He would say to them, أَشَقَقْتَ قَلْبَهُ? Did you split open his heart? Did you see what's going on inside? So all of the ahkam al-shar'iyyah, all of the rulings of the Sharia deal with people's apparent actions. None of them delve into what's going on in one's heart. But yet, we feel an impulse to do so. We like to analyze. And we like to say, you know, this person didn't give me salam today because I think, I didn't give them that like on Facebook, or they called me last week and I didn't return their call within an hour, so I think now they're trying to give some retribution to me. And we build all of these scenarios. Or, my mother-in-law, she's not very happy with me because I didn't get my wife the 2019 Lexus and instead I got her a 2018. And I think she's a little bit upset about this. All of these things, right, that go on inside of us that affect our psyche and then affect how we deal with others, this is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ is coming to rectify, coming to fix. And he said, don't judge people. أَشَقَقْتَ قَلْبَهُ? Did you open their heart? Did you look inside? Don't judge people. And one of the most beautiful character traits that one can have is called husn al-dhan. And one of the worst is something called su' al-dhan. Husn al-dhan wa su' al-dhan. What are these two things? Al-dhan means that which you have suspicion of. That's what you think may or may not be. You don't have a clear evidence about one way or the other. So when you don't have a clear indication one way or the other, on which side should you weigh? Especially when it's someone close to you and someone that you know. You should deal with them by husn al-dhan. Have a good opinion of them. Make 70 excuses for your brother, as the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, rather than seeing the worst case scenario. And one of the other beautiful things that the Prophet ﷺ talked about was as-satr. as-satru jameel, that Allah covers our bad traits and He conceals our bad traits and our attributes one from another. And that is a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine the person that you're standing in front of and you could see exactly what they're thinking and know exactly what's going on inside, and they know the same about you? Would any of us want to accompany the other? If someone saw today what you're thinking about, the worst thoughts that you had today, this morning, until now, until Jumma, if we could see that and it was on a big screen and the whole congregation can see it, I can tell you that if you saw mine, I wouldn't be standing here now. You'd tell me, go somewhere else. I don't want you to give the khutbah. But out of Allah's mercy, out of His rahmah, satar ayubana. He concealed and covered up our traits, our bad traits and our mistakes. And the first hadith that is narrated when people start to learn hadith is the hadith what's called salsul min-rahmah. That which is the hadith of mercy. Ar-rahimun yarhamuhum ar-rahman, irhamu man fil ard, yarhamkum or yarhamakum man fis sama. Ar-rahimun yarhamuhum ar-rahman. Those who show mercy will be shown mercy by Ar-Rahman, the one who is the distributor of mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Irhamu man fil ard. Have mercy upon those in the earth. Yarhamkum man fis sama. And those in the heavens will have mercy upon you. So mercy then is the overwhelming attribute. And if Allah deals with us by mercy, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يدخل أحدكم الجنة بعمله. None of you will enter paradise by your deeds. The Sahaba were a little confused. They said, حتى, they thought maybe our deeds are not good enough. So they said, حتى أنت يا رسول الله, even you, Messenger of Allah, you will not enter with your deeds? He said, لا إلا أن يتغمدنا الله برحمته. I will not either, except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses me in His all-encompassing mercy. So it's not something that we do, how good we are, how many things we have done and we have attributed. The most important thing is that you avail yourself of Allah's mercy. How do you do so? By being merciful yourself. Kunu Rabbaniyin. This is one of the verses in the Quran. How do you be Rabbani? How do you be Lord-like? Does it mean to be Lord-like in the attributes of magnificence and jalal? Right? To be muntaqim, to be muqtadir, to overwhelm and overpower and compel, which are attributes of God? They said no. It's not for the human being. The only attributes you can avail yourself of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the attributes of rahmah, the attributes of mercy. So to be merciful, to be clement, to be pardoning, ta'afu amman zalamak, tasal man qata'ak, ta'ati man haramak. Those three things, the Prophet ﷺ said, if you do them, you will have hisaban yasira. You have a very easy hisab in the afterlife. What are those three things? Ta'ati man haramak. Give to those who deprive you. Wa ta'afu amman zalamak. And to pardon and forgive those who have wronged you. وَتَصِلْ مَنْ قَطَعَكَ. And to maintain the connection, or try to maintain a connection with even those who have cut you off. Think about those three things. What is our natural disposition when one of those things happens? Someone wrongs us, someone doesn't want to talk to us anymore, wants to cut us off, especially if it's a relative. Someone deprives us of something we think that is our right. What is our natural reaction? Fine. I will do the same to them. They don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to them. They wronged me, I'll get back at them. They don't want to give me, I will never give them. But yet the Prophet ﷺ says, if you want hisab yasir, if you want an easy hisab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then do the opposite. Do the opposite. Those who are cutting you off, maintain that connection. How long did the Prophet ﷺ, how long was he patient with the people of Quraysh? How long did he wait? How long was he patient with them? How many opportunities did he have? And Jibreel, the angels came to him and gave him the opportunities that he can crush them and smite them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could take care of them, they'd be gone. Countless. Many opportunities. But yet, the Prophet ﷺ said that. أرجو أن يخرج من أصلابهم من يؤمن بالله. I am hopeful that those who will come from amongst their progeny, not literally come from their limbs, their children and their grandchildren and great-grandchildren, they will be amongst those who will believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And within less than a generation, it was exactly as he had hoped. Because when the Prophet ﷺ hopes for something, Allah gives it to him. Because Allah says about the Prophet ﷺ, وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Allah will give you فَتَرْضَى. And you will be pleased. Allah doesn't say about anybody else in the Quran. Who will be pleased? Allah? No. The Prophet ﷺ will be pleased. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. You will be pleased. And in one of the riwayat he said, the Prophet ﷺ, I am not pleased with any one of my ummah entering into hellfire. I am only pleased with all of them entering into paradise. And so, ikraman lil Nabi ﷺ, as a act of generosity to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ will be given ash-shafa'a al-uzma. He will be given the greatest intercession. And many other intercessions after that. Many of us sitting in this room today, I have no doubt, will be destined for a difficult place or a difficult hisab, and maybe even fall from the sirat. But your Prophet ﷺ will intercede for you. And he say, I don't want Abdullah or Mustafa or Fatima or Zainab. I don't want any of them falling into the hellfire. I want them to come with me to paradise. I want them to reach the other side of the sirat and come and drink from the hawd, my hawd, the hawd of the Prophet ﷺ, by my hand. And the one who drinks from the hand of the Prophet ﷺ, لَا يَظْمَأُ مِنْ بَعْدِهَا أَبَدًا. They will never go thirsty ever again. This is the love of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ for this ummah. But can we live up to it? In the second part of the khutbah, I will expand about that. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه فإن التائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له. Seek forgiveness from the Lord, for the one who does so is like the one without sin. الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد. So, many times in the khutab we hear things that are very nice and people perhaps reconsider some things, but I think to honor our Prophet ﷺ, we want to do things right now. We want to do things that are practical. And I think the practical thing to do, let's follow the advice of our Prophet ﷺ. Let's find those who deprived us. Let's find those who wronged us. Let's find those who cut us off from our relations or otherwise. And let's do what the Prophet ﷺ said. Let's remake the connection. Let us give to those who have deprived us. Let us seek out those who have cut us off. And also let us pardon those who have wronged us in some way. Especially with people who are related to you. Especially with your relatives, your brothers, your sisters, your children, your parents, your grandparents, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts. All of these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that there should be a permanent relationship between you and them. He chose those particular two people to be your parents. He didn't choose anybody else. And no one else can give them the right that parents are owed except you. You can't outsource it. You can't hire somebody else to say, you know what, I need you to take my parents from me because it's too much. No one can, there's no niyaba. There's no substitution. The most important thing, the most important rights you have to fulfill is the ones that no one else can do. The ones that are fard ayn, the ones that are individual obligation upon you. The Prophet ﷺ made the marker of how good a believer, even how good of a human being you are, is how good you are to your family. He didn't say the ones who pray in the first row, even though it's meritorious. He didn't say the ones who are coming to the masjid the most. He didn't say the ones who are paying the most sadaqah. He didn't say the ones who are fasting the most. He said, خيركم خيركم لأهلي وأنا خيركم لأهلي أو لزوجتي. The best of you are those who are best to their families or their wives. And I am the best to my family and my wife. And the reason for this is those human beings that you are in contact with the most, you will have the most effect on their life to either bring happiness or to bring sadness. People usually don't get broken inside over a relationship of someone they barely know. Someone that you just know casually and decide, I don't want to be a friend anymore. It's kind of bothersome, but it doesn't break you. But those who are closest to you, your parents, your children, your spouses, those relationships can make or break you. They can enter happiness and beauty into your life, or they can make your life miserable. Or they can make your life miserable. And the Prophet ﷺ emphasized this many times. He said, "Astawsu bin nisa'i khayra." One of the last things he said, be good to your wives. Don't use religion to justify your corrupt heart. Don't beat your wife or yell at your wife and then say, the Quran says, وَاضْرِبُوهُنَّ. The Quran says, beat them. Though you have never read the tafsir of the ayah, though you never actually asked a scholar about it, though you never actually researched it to see what it actually means and how is it applied, and then you forget that the Prophet ﷺ, لَمْ يَضْرِبْ إِمْرَأَةٍ قَطْ. He never struck a woman, the Prophet ﷺ. So if that was some type of sunnah, he would have been the first one to do it. But he did not use it as a disciplinary tool. Ever. Ever. But yet we justify. Well, the Quran says we can do that. The Quran says we have to show them who's boss. وَاضْرِبُوهُنَّ. Don't use the Quran, the text of the Quran. Don't use the hadith to justify something that's wrong with your own heart. Fix your own heart first. Learn your religion well. Learn about yourself well. Sayyidina Umar, he said, رَحِمَ اللَّهِ إِمْرَأً أَهْدَى إِلَيَّ عُيُوبِي. May Allah have mercy on the person who shows me my faults. When was the last time you went to someone close to you and you asked, I want to know what my faults are because I want to fix them? Do we even think that we have faults? Do we even think we have shortcomings? Do we even think we have something that we need to work on? Or we just assume everything is great and we're just happy to live in that sort of delusion? Everybody has faults. Everybody has shortcomings. The people who know the most about them are the ones who are closest to you. And I'll give you a little bit of a test. When you walk into your house and your family greets you and they sees you, do they smile when they see you? Or do they run to their rooms? Or do they avoid seeing you? Or do they avoid eye contact? Don't blame them. Blame yourself. You should be the one to bring happiness into the house, no matter what's going on outside. No matter all the difficulties you see, your boss, your work, your school, doesn't matter. When you come into your house, this is your house. This is your dar. And life is short. Life is short. I lost my father a couple of weeks ago. And I went down into the grave to place his body in the grave. And as I was down there, and I looked around, and it was this narrow, I said, this is it? This is what it comes to? All of that life, all of those things, all of those dreams, all of the things that we possessed and we owned, cars and houses and trips, and at the end, this is it. Dirt around you, and a small space that only holds your body. You may have a 5,000 or 10,000 square foot house, but at the end, you're going to have a space that barely fits you, and you will be no different than the person who had a small apartment or lived underneath the highway overpass outside. Doesn't matter. At the end, this is where we're going to go. And at the end, all that will be left for you is what did you do with your relationships? What was your amal? How are you with your Lord? Will you be able to answer those three questions? Who is your Lord? And who is your Prophet? And what is your deen? And it's not a quiz. You can only answer truthfully. It'll have to be in your heart. It's not something someone can help you cheat on. You will answer truthfully if that's really in your heart, and you will not if you do not. This life is short, ya akhwan wa akhawati. It's very short. There's not much left to it. Most of us in this room have probably lived more than we're going to see. We've lived over half, most likely. If you're anywhere 40 or above, certainly you've probably lived over half. So what are we going to do the next half? What are we going to do with the time that is left? The things that we run after, the things we try to accumulate and acquire, they're going to go to your heirs afterwards. You're not going to keep them. They're not going to mean anything. But what did you leave for them really? When they bury you, will they have their deen? Do you know how to wash your body? They know how to pray over you. They know how to distribute your inheritance. They know how to carry the message of the deen that you taught them to their own children. Did we do that right? Because if we didn't do that right, it's like we've done nothing at all. So I reiterate, in this blessed time, this blessed month, that we're still breathing, that we're still thinking, that we're still able-bodied. We still have an opportunity. Opportunity is not lost. Everything is always redeemable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can change our fortunes in an instant, like that. Yes, we grieve for the rest of the ummah, the people who are in places all over the world. But think about yourself too. Think about your hal. Think about your state. Think about what you will be leaving behind and what you continue to leave behind. And remember the words of the Prophet ﷺ that I mentioned today. تصل من قطعك وتعفو عن من ظلمك وتعطي من حرمك. Bring the connection back even to those who don't want to be connected to you, especially from your relations. Forgive those who have wronged you. And forgive those who have deprived you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of you, to give everyone in this room that which they are seeking from the bounties of the next life, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our sins and our mistakes, and to grant us Jannah with those that He has blessed before us, من النبيين والمرسلين والصديقين والشهداء وحسن أولئك رفيقا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى أن نصطلنا بسترك الجميل. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. وما يا الله يا الله يا الله بجاه أسماء الله وصفات الله وأنبياء الله ورسل الله والصالحين وعباد الله مقضي حوائجنا ظاهرا وباطنا. وما أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وارزقنا حسن الخاتمة. نصر من الله فتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين. ومن على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. لك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد كالذي نقول ولك الحمد كالذي تقول ولك الحمد خير مما نقول ولك الحمد على كل حال. يا عالم السر منا لا تهتك الستر عنا وعافنا واعف عنا كلنا حيث كنا وأيقظ قلوبنا لك ونبهنا من الغفلة عنك وأيقظ قلوبنا لك ونبهنا من الغفلة عنك. واجعل آخر كلامنا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت وباركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. وأقم الصلاة.
السلام عليكم.